What's going on, everybody? Sausage here. Have you ever woken up in an empty office building and everyone's gone, the lights buzz overhead, maybe there's some corporate jazz playing through the speakers? My point is, have you ever woken up in a place that feels like it shouldn't exist? Well, this is the Elision Effect, a short, surreal puzzle game that drops you in and says, figure it out. You're probably the last person in the building, there's no explanation, no hand-holding, just an empty office, locked doors, and the feeling that an exit has to be nearby, right? It's inspired by liminal spaces in classic empty office games, and while it can feel eerie, there are no jump scares, I can say that with certainty. So, how does it actually play? Well, the Elision Effect is built around a series of small, self-contained puzzles. There's no overarching mechanic in that every room introduces a new idea. At first, this kind of irritated me. You're dropped straight in with basically no tutorial, so for the first few minutes I was just running around trying to understand what the game wanted. But once the vibe clicked, well, things smoothed out. The puzzles themselves are genuinely creative. One has you disabling alarm clocks, but only in a specific order. Another has you navigating stairwells and hallways where the visuals and colors shift every time you move. You can stop moving to snap the camera back to normal, which I thought was a really clever touch. There's also a stealth puzzle where you hide under tables to avoid a security camera, and there's even one where the floor is lava, so that was pretty fun. What I appreciated most is that the game doesn't rely on just one gimmick or one mechanic. It's got simple puzzles, but very different ideas, and that creativity stood out. But visuals are where the game really makes its first impression. The graphics and art is easily this game's biggest strength. Low resolution, low poly visuals with heavy pixelation, it immediately grabbed me. Now, I'm a sucker for PS1 style aesthetics, and while this isn't quite that, it's close enough to hit the same nerve. The color choices, or sometimes the lack of color, it really pops. Everything feels intentional, sterile, and uncomfortable. The game calls itself liminal, and while I don't fully agree, I don't fully disagree either. Empty doesn't always mean liminal, but I still loved the atmosphere. And a quick heads up, there is a photosensitivity warning in that some visual effects could be an issue for a small number of players, so play in a well-lit room and take breaks if needed, even though it's not really that long of a game. But you know you, if you have that medical condition, just be aware. So how long are we actually stuck in this office? The Elision Effect costs $3 on Steam. It says you can complete it in 30 minutes, or if you want to go the completionist route, 1 to 2 hours, but in my experience, well, I finished it in about 15 minutes. And in that time, I only unlocked one of the 8 achievements. So, with all of that said, the Elision Effect earns a rating of 7 sausages out of 10. I didn't really love how the game just dropped me in with no explanation, but once I understood how the game operated, I kinda knew what to look for. The biggest issue with this game is the depth. The puzzle ideas feel wide as an ocean, but as deep as a puddle. Some of these mechanics could have been combined in the later game, such as hiding from the security cameras while also disabling the alarm clocks, for example. That alone could have added some amount of extra playtime. The art style absolutely carries this experience. I just wish I could have spent more time in this strange, empty world. There is some replayability if you want to go back and earn all of the achievements, but I don't feel like earning them would have changed the experience in any meaningful way. So my recommendation is maybe wait until this game is at least 50% off. And that's my review of the Elision Effect. If you got this far, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a little comment below, but if not, just know that I appreciate your viewership nonetheless. I also stream on Twitch occasionally, I have a Discord for both content creators and casual viewers alike, and I'm a Steam curator, so consider following me on all of those platforms as well. I'll leave a link to everything in the description below. Anyway, I think I'm going to cut my review here. Mahoney out.